What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Cartoon Season. I'm Tyler, and of course, this is where I get to talk with all y'all about some animation, some good old times there. Whether it's anime or cartoons, whether it's movies or shows, could be anything. Animation is great. So, of course, today we got some Belle, the fairly new, and even newer if you are watching it in just America, anime movie. Lots of comparisons and not even really comparisons, more so like inspiration from Beauty and the Beast. That's where like Belle comes from. That was her name and everything. So I was very excited to watch this because this is more of like an adaptation. I mean, not really an adaptation because it's more so just like drawing inspiration from. But yeah, and Studio Chizu, right? Chizu. These guys are great. They make good movies. And so they came up with another one. And we're going to talk actually a bunch of stuff about that. I do want to talk about some of the comparisons with Beauty and the Beast. I want to talk about the mom. I want to talk about you, the alternative reality, as well as Suzu gaining her confidence back. But yeah, before we get into that, make sure to go to the Tiger T YouTube channel or many other podcast services to check more episodes like this out, as well as going to Tiger T Twitter and my own Twitter for social media stuff. But we're going to get right into the Beauty and the Beast aspect of this. Obviously, you got the main character, Suzu, who goes into this world, and she is a beautiful avatar. That's definitely one thing that she gets is for her looks. And then she has like her fashion and, all that. I mean, they also do make a big point about her freckles. People don't like those. It's like, I got the freckles though. It's a little, but I mean, overall, she seems to have gotten like a real human, like avatar. Whereas like so many other people just get like weird, like monster things. Kind of like like yokai or something. But she has that kind of going for her. Kind of same thing with Belle from the Beauty and the Beast movie, where she was obviously, she turned into a Disney princess, I guess, but, that's kind of her thing. At least from the outside, just looking like superficially, on the outside. But on the inside, she is kind of more of a loner. She doesn't really talk to anyone, honestly. She only has a few friends. And even then, she really only talks to the one, what was her name? Hiroka. That's really the one she's close with, but even that, she doesn't really do a whole lot. I mean, we'll get into that a lot later, but again, kind of drawing some comparisons to that. She sings like Belle. Not really a strong bond between the two characters, but I mean, that is something that happens where even in the Beauty and the Beast movie, lots of singing. I mean, more so because it's a Disney film, but still, I mean, it still happens with the character in the movie. And then she's drawn to the Beast due to a tragedy. I'm pretty sure I did not watch Beauty and the Beast before this, but this would be because it's because her dad, right? Like her dad gets like taken by the Beast, something like that, right? And then she has to go save him. And she does, but she does it like in exchange, right? She's like, take me instead, leave my dad out of this. That's how the whole movie spirals from there. And then with this movie that we're talking about today, Belle, again, like she has her own tragedy where she can't sing anymore, and so she's drawn to this alternative kind of world, this like glorified social media type thing. And that eventually gets her to meeting the Beast through like her own singing, and again how like her own abilities in this world. She comes across the Beast, and then they have a bond. So some similar like foundations for for the catalyst for this the real plot of the movie. And then we go to the other side where we have the dragon, who is Kai, who just emanates anger, right? He is a beast. He is a very much like the movie or the Beauty and the Beast, the Disney film. The dragon is not friends with the law. Not big fans there. They're chasing him all the time. They can't figure out where he lives. He lives in a secluded castle type thing, I guess. Which is kind of odd. That's another thing where I just had a quick question about that when I was watching the movie of like, does everyone else in this reality have like living quarters? You know, I don't remember Belle or Suzu going into like a home. I don't really remember that part of the movie, but you know, maybe they do. I don't know. Just part of the dragon's character, I guess. Again, similar to the Disney film, he got a castle all by himself. He also has little magic friends, same thing as the Disney movie, who love him, and you know, he seems to treat them well. You know, obviously, again, a little later on, we realize who he really is, so that makes more sense. But at the time, we're just like, yeah, it's the dragon thing, just you know, as these little friends. And Kai also has a really dark, sacrificial life. You know, similarly to the beast from the Disney film. Sad life. You know, he was. I think in the Disney film he was cursed, right? And that's where the whole like rose thing came into play. And then with this is more real in the sense that it has to do with his father, and the relationship between him and the father, and then the brother and the father, and all that, and probably why he tries to escape reality. I mean, you assume that most people who come into this just do it because it's the next thing, right? It's just fun. I mean, with the parallels of social media, which we'll talk about a little later, but I mean, I imagine most people just get on social media just because it's what you can do, you know. But there are some people who do it because they want to try to escape reality. They're actively trying to escape reality, and I think you can easily see this with both these characters for two completely different reasons. But I think they're both very impactful reasons on their life, and you know, I think that's a huge reason why they are drawn to each other, because they really can understand each other. You know, even if Suzu has never been, you know, if she's never been abused by her father, and then if the dragon didn't have, you know, a parent just willfully killed himself, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, and by the end of the movie, they both change, you know, because of each other. This is something that happens in the Disney film as well, where, you know, they both kind of learn things from each other. They, you know, they have two different perspectives on things, very different. That's the whole hook of Beauty and the Beast. They're supposed to be completely polar opposites. And, you know, I feel like that's true here. Again, like I said, I think they do have similarities, you know, even if it's not completely the same. You know, they did have, you know, they have reasons for coming to you and maybe wanting this to, you know, wishing that this was real life. You know, because whenever they go back to their real life, it's never good. You know, it's never good for too long, unfortunately. Whereas, you know, the dragon is more so a physical well-being problems, and Belle is more so mental. You know, I think they relate to each other very well. And then by the end of it, they don't quite fall in love the same way that it happens in the Disney film, but I think they do love each other, not in like a romantic way, but in just like, again, they learned a lot from each other. They were able to overcome things because of each other, you know, their own internal and external, I guess, like roadblocks. You know, they were able to get over those and live a better life. You're assuming in the future. I mean, we don't really see too much or really any of them after this. I think that's, again, like when they have their big resolution, I think it just kind of ends, right? It just hangs on the end screen where they're all kind of hanging out. But yeah, again, like Beauty and the Beast was the first thing that I thought of. It was, you know, obviously a huge inspiration for the film, and I think that you can easily and quickly see similarities between these two works of art. But I think in a few things I'm about to talk about, there is a lot of stuff that sets Belle apart from its Disney inspiration. And the first is the mom killing herself. Now this isn't too extensive of a topic that I wanted to do. I mean, it's more so a question for anyone out there. because I am somewhat confused. So as we know, the mom, when Suzu was young, she jumped into a river to save a little girl. Little girl came out. The mom did not. She's dead. And my main thing here is like I just don't understand why. And I think that was, I mean, the biggest thorn in Suzu's character. You know, that's why she is the way she is throughout most of the film, and obviously most of her life ever since that happened. You know, she can't sing. She just kind of distances herself. She finds herself crying all the time. It's sad. Like it's tough. You know, losing a parent, I'm sure, is not something that you get over easily, or even ever, honestly. But like, away from the Suzu aspect of it, I don't understand why the mom did that. Like, I think they kind of explained it as like she was just a selfless person, and like she just couldn't stand to see something like that happen. Like, maybe because she had a daughter, she looked at the little kid and was like, if I can do something, I should do something, you know, because I would hope that if I'm not able to save my own daughter, that if someone else was able to do something, they would at least try, because they would know, they would know what it's like to be a parent and have a kid, and what it would be like to lose that kid. But that to me isn't enough though. Like, I understand it's a movie, and sometimes characters in movies do things that aren't really realistic because they're characters in a movie, to tell a story. But still, like, I don't feel like in real life, like, I don't know if someone would do that in real life, like, unless they were truly a saint, and they felt like it was their humanly duty to save another life. Like, I just don't think, again, it's like even a random, like, maybe like someone who's like a police officer, or like a firefighter, or someone like that who it's literally their job every day, like day in and day out, to protect ones around them. Maybe they already have that kind of sense of that like certain aspect of morality drilled into them already, so they would obviously think of, well, I gotta save him, I gotta do everything I can, but like the mom, to me, I don't believe she was any of those things, and it's just hard for me to believe that it's purely because she is either just a nice person, or because, again, like the whole like parental sympathy, I guess. But it's hard for me to believe. Like, I just don't know. Like it's just like, I didn't like at the time when we saw some of the aftermath of that, and there was some like parents being like, oh, I can't believe she would do that. She would leave her daughter behind, to save just a random kid. Doesn't make sense. She's an idiot. And at the time when they were saying that, I was kind of upset. So like, wow, that's a pretty, like, in a way, again, it's a very selfless thing to do, to trade your life for someone else's, but the more I thought about it, the more I'm thinking about it right now as well, it is such a weird and, like, in a way, again, more of a selfish act than a selfless one. Because again, yeah, you do have a daughter. It's not like you're a literal superhero who doesn't have a family, and so you spend 24/7 saving other people, because that's really all you know how to do. That's really all you can do. You don't really care necessarily about failing and getting severely injured or even dying for the sake of a loved one, because you don't have any. That's not the case in her case. She did have a husband. She obviously has a daughter. I imagine she also has a a family, parents, cousins, something like that. So like, I don't know. It's just weird to me. It's a question I had, like, when it happened, it was weird to me. And then, like, Thinking about it now, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. I get it for the plot, and and that's really why this isn't too much of a topic. It's more of something I just wanted to bring up because I wanted you guys out there to like message me, like throw it in the comments, throw it at Twitter, and please let me know if I'm just missing something huge because, that like explains all this, because to me it's like, it makes no sense. Why, and it ruined her daughter. Like, she couldn't sing anymore, she couldn't make music anymore, that was literally her favorite thing to do, and she distanced herself from pretty much everyone, whether she wanted to or not. She does have a few friends, but it's even tough to talk with them. Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I'm not saying it's like a plot hole in the movie or anything. No, I'm not that kind of person, but I'm just out here trying to fish for like, please tell me why I'm wrong, But then I do also, like I said, I want to get into you, this little representation of modern day social media. It seems like it is somewhat of a parallel to the real world. I don't even know why I wrote that. Why did I write that? Somewhat of a parallel to the real world. Yeah, I mean, because you get to go in there. I mean, it's obviously very different because you have like an avatar of sorts, but you do also, like, there is somewhat of a hierarchy, and I mean, you do get to show off yourself. You get to show off any of your talents. You get to meet people from all over the world. It is like another little pocket dimension where you get to go into and be whoever, because it doesn't matter. And then obviously you can be popular and all that, but it really is a place to escape. And the weird thing is that most of this they don't really show that this is like a bad side of the internet. I feel like there are other like other movies and shows and stuff like that have had these little, like AI or like VR. I don't know why I said AI. AI is wrong. VR or AR type type worlds that the main character goes into and all that. It always turns out terrible. I feel like this one, for the most part, was pretty tame. I mean, because it was just people chilling. There wasn't like a weird corrupt thing where people were killing each other or like any drugs involved or crime involved. Like, it was really just, you get to go and hang out. And yeah, like I said, there's a hierarchy. There are people that are more popular. There are people that are trying to gain or game the system to get more followers and that. But there really isn't, from what we've seen, there wasn't really any negative to this. Again, comparable to our social media, which is almost all bad. No matter what people say about the vocal minority social media, overall terrible of how it's been used and implemented. Great idea, terrible. I wouldn't even say terrible. I would say very negative. Very, very negative execution. And again, the only real thing is that there are some bad apples. Like, we do have the main officer guy, who seems like he's definitely using his position to try and control other people. Trying to tell other people what to do, which isn't really what, again, like police officers or law enforcement is supposed to do. They're not really supposed to tell you what to do. They're supposed to uphold laws, and not like force people into things, like the way that he was like interrogating Belle. And it's like, she doesn't have any, she does have stuff to do with this. She definitely was keeping information from them, but, that she's like, he's gonna like expose her and everything like that. That's where it took it too far. And she even said, like, you don't actually care about the rules here. You don't care about keeping all this intact. You just care about having the power to control other people and get them to do what you want, to try to fit what you want this you to be. So again, there's always going to be stuff like that in like VR simulations and other worlds and all that, but I do think for the most part they showed what good can come from stuff like this. Especially towards the end with using it to save Kai and the brother. using it to help Belle be able to sing again. All that stuff. I mean, there's some really good things, and same thing with social media. Some really good things that can come out of that. But I think this did a much more job at highlighting the positives rather than showing the negatives. Yeah. I mean, the only thing that was also kind of scary was like how they like scan your DNA. They never really went anywhere super bad with that. But hold on, guys, 1 second. Okay, I'm back. My cat was trying to leave. Leave me forever. What was I talking about? Yeah, scanning the DNA. I thought that was definitely, just going into it, not really knowing what the movie was really going to be about, seeing the whole DNA scan thing, and they just scan your entire body, your genetic makeup. I thought that was going to go somewhere. It really didn't. I mean, it did in the sense that, it showed why Suzu turned into someone that looks like Belle, and it, explained why Kai turned into someone that looked like the dragon. But, I thought it was going to go somewhere further, where it was like someone that was controlling this program was going to, use all that info. They have billions of people's like DNA, but it never went like super villain route that I thought it was going to, which is cool. It didn't, after watching the movie, didn't need to do that. So I'm glad it didn't. But the last thing I do want to talk about is Suzu gaining her confidence back. I feel like this was the main plot of the movie. When it came to our main character here. So like I said earlier, she did used to like to sing and make music with her mom. That was really nice seeing all those flashbacks. And she was really good. It was funny seeing GarageBand. It was clearly GarageBand, they were using, and for her to be so young and try to like put like chords together and all that, and have them loop, and then create some nice music. But like I said, with her mom gone, she couldn't sing. She couldn't do that anymore. Because I'm assuming because it reminded her of her, and it's painful. She didn't feel like she could do that without crying, and then she didn't really feel like she had anything worthwhile because like the joy was gone. And now whenever she makes music, it's all like sad and weird, and on paper doesn't really make sense. Like the lyrics don't even make sense. So it crushed her. That was a huge part of who she was, and it's just gone, which sucks. But when she's able to go into You, she can immediately sing when she's Belle. That was really the first thing. She became Belle, looked around, and started singing. And I don't even think she realized she started doing it until she did. And then there we go. It's back. Now I'm in this world. Now I'm latching onto this because this is the only way that I can perform my favorite hobby. The thing that really makes me who I am. The thing that I try to do each and every day, but I can't actually execute it because there's just like a mental block. But You gets rid of the mental block, acts like it wasn't even there. So it's great. Again, another huge positive for this program. And people love her. She rises to stardom very quickly within the space. And her friend Hiroka masterminds her image and her set list and all that. I don't think she writes her songs though. I think she like messes with like the arrangement of the songs. And again, like I said, her image and all that, like literally her image, like what she wears, her fashion, and all that. But it's nice. She starts to gain, like I said, she starts to gain her confidence back. Not in real life, but when she's here, she can be who she wants to be. And that's great for her. And then she's also able to get close to the dragon. It's something that you never really expected her character to be able to do because she seems so timid and just ready to burst at any second. Again, she's always crying. It seems like, so for her to be that sure of herself and have somewhat of it's not really like a backbone. It's more of just like the curiosity is strong enough and the want to help someone is strong enough that it overpowers her fear and her complacency, that she's able to see him and be like, no, I'm going to keep seeing him. I want to talk to him. I want to learn more about him. We obviously see that there's something wrong with him. He has some sort of pain, some sort of trauma. And, again, it does go back to the mom killing herself, where it's like Suzu's a similar way where it's less irrational, but most people, there's literally proof here where billions of people exist in this U world, and they never really cared to get to know the dragon. But her, she's like, no, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get through his skin and figure out who he really is. And then also because of this, she's able to actually find Kai, the brother, and send him to the dad, which is the main climax and the resolution of the film. She is persistent enough, she's confident enough to use her Belle to find these random people and help them out. Again, kind of getting with the mom. It starts to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. But this is kind of a two-parter here, where first she sheds her Belle skin, and which is crazy. Because that's the whole reason that she was able to sing in the first place. And now she's able to shed that and sing using her actual image in front of literally hundreds of millions, maybe billions. Again, I think they say at one point there's like 4 billion people who signed up for You. It's like half the world. She's able to sing in front of them, and she does it because, one, like I said, she's done this enough. She's confident enough. She's persistent enough. But also because she's trying to get through to Kai and the brother, and she needs to help them. She has this urge. Again, like the mom. So I'm starting to understand the mom a little bit, even though I disagree with it. And then the second part is sending him to the dad. Like, that was crazy to me. The dad was crazy, putting his hands on her. Like, come on, you are. there's lots of words for what you are. I hope he went to jail. I hope they called the cops on him or something, because even though her doing that rattled him very much, and I'm sure that Kai and the brother now know what they have to do to stand up to him themselves. It's still not okay, what he's done in the past. Just because they can now, they can now stand up for themselves and hopefully prevent him from doing anything like that again. It doesn't erase what he's already done. So I really hope there's, we didn't see any, but I sure hope there's consequences for his actions, because there definitely should be. And then, one second. Oh, jeez. I thought I was gonna die. Okay. And then the nice little bow on this whole film is, after what seems like a million times, the dad asks her for the million and first time, hey, do you want dinner? And Suzu finally says yes. He says sushi, she says yes. And it's great, because the whole film we see him ask her that, dinner, you hungry, you want something, you want to go out? She always says no. She's not, she kind of distanced herself from the dad. She just couldn't, again, it's her own mental stuff, that she has had to deal with, which only makes sense. Again, she lost her parent, the parent that she was a lot closer with. And so, by the end of it, she's grown so much, and she's come to understand who she is and who she wants to be. There are people around her that want to support her, that are actively supporting her right now. And so she finally decides to start to build back the relationship she had with her father. And it's great. It didn't need any more than that. We didn't need to have a conversation between the two. We didn't need her to apologize. We didn't need him to apologize. It was literally just him asking her, wants dinner? She says yes. He says sushi. She says sounds good. And that's all we need, because we know what that means. We can interpolate what they're gonna, what's gonna happen between them from now on. In the months and years to come. It's great. It's I wouldn't say it's subtle, but it doesn't beat you over the head with, hey, she's grown and he's gonna do it. It doesn't need to do that. But yeah, that's the end. Again, I thought this film was great. I think that, yeah, I thought it was great. I think it's really strong. It has some good characters. It doesn't need to go into each and every one of them. There was a lot of aspects of this film that were kind of just teased, and I don't think they needed to delve into them more. I didn't need to. And we got some nice stuff with the friends. I didn't. We could have seen more interactions with Suzu and the dad, but I didn't think it was necessary. We could have seen more perspective of like the one singer that we saw a couple times in the film. We're assuming like one of the more popular singers, or even the most popular singer, or just user in You before Belle came along. We saw her a couple times. Like in the beginning, she was super jealous, and then at the end, she, after Suzu shed her Belle skin, she was like, "Oh, Belle's just a kid, just like me," And so we started to see, but. I think that was enough. We didn't need to see more of her. I think other films would have delved into her a little bit more. Maybe been like, who is this? And, what's her backstory? Why when we see her is she so jealous and so angry, but we didn't need to. And yeah, and then obviously the final act, overall the songs in this were great. The music was great. And then that third act really wraps everything together nicely. I think a lot of films fall apart in the third act, but I don't think this one did. I think it wrapped everything up in a way it was supposed to, and it didn't. To me, there wasn't any fat. Like when she started singing again, I was like, did she need to sing a second time? But then she did, and it's like, this was the better moment. Even not only does she has to sing again for the story, but it was even better than when she did the first time in the third act. So. I think it was good. It's really all I can say. But yeah, again, like this studio usually doesn't miss. I know at some point I'll do the other movies. I'm pretty sure this is the same studio that did Girl Love Through Time, which if y'all have watched any of Untitled and Unfocused, another podcast I do with my friend Ray, we talk about like Girl Love Through Time quite a bit. It just seems to pop up, and how much we do not like that film. How much we were disappointed by that film, but there's a whole thing into that. You'll have to go listen to episodes. I'm sure I'll cover that on here at some point, and maybe I'll come back around on it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, that's a great transition to Untitled and Focus. Please go listen to that podcast. That's again me and my friend Ray. Talk about anime, sometimes video games, sometimes movies, books, all kinds of stuff there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, go to the Tiger T YouTube, go to any other podcast service and just search Cartoon Season. We got Twitter. Links for everything will be below. That's it. I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, so until next time, go watch some more anime movies, maybe more Studio Chizu ones, because we'll definitely cover those. And let me know what other stuff you would like to see me cover.